Ever wondered what the survivors of DbD think of the realm and the trials? Do they hate them? Probably. Do they tolerate them? Or do they even like them in some cases? We'll be exploring this very question today, looking at each of the survivors' perspectives. Hey everyone, and let's get into it. Hate the realm is a category for those who just straight up hate the entity's realm. This could be out of fear or out of pure dislike for the place. Hattie is a character the entity seems to dislike a lot, and sort of targets across the multiverse as a whole. Therefore I reckon she sort of hates it back, and therefore hates the realm too. She's going to try her best to survive and potentially break out if she can, which is why she probably looks so determined, I think. Overall though, I imagine she despises this place. Meg is a character with a pretty angry expression, and it's understandable. She was pulled away from her sick mother, who she might never see again. In the realm, she's left to re-experience much of the pain she experienced in the real world, and so she probably simply hates it here. I could even see her being toxic lore-wise, taking her anger out on the killers, and daringly getting into chases. Nia, I think, is quite similar. She seems generally pretty annoyed with the place, and much like Meg, she has the skills to survive, but is likely just angry about being here. And I too could see her being toxic lore-wise. She's already pretty angry with the world, and I think the realm just makes this worse. Understandably so again. Claudette is a character who looks quite visibly scared by the realm, which is understandable. She clearly has the skills for the realm and would be prepared for it in many ways, but equally is likely just terrified by the whole experience. Steve and Nancy both seem to be on the same page and look pretty scared of their surroundings. Not only this, but they likely want to return home, knowing what is about to go down there too. It's getting pulled from one nightmare to another, which is why a lot of these characters land here, I think. They're just gonna hate it. Cheryl just looks really traumatized, and it's understandable. She's already been through a lot for such a young character, and in the realm has to go through even more. She might be capable enough to withstand and survive the realm, but she likely hates it too. Laurie is a similar case of a character just finishing up another traumatic event and getting thrown into another one repeatedly with the realm. While she is more prepared than others with this experience, it's not going to stop her from hating the realm and everything she does experience here. All of these characters having a determination to survive, but equal hatred for it, I think. Felix, I believe, hates the realm and the entity and everything it's done. Even though he may believe there is potential to find his father here, it's definitely outweighed by his desire to return home to his child and wife. A character more prepared than most, but ultimately wanting out and hating what this realm has done to his life. Dislike the realm is a category for the characters who don't like the realm, but equally don't have a burning hatred for it either. They're just not happy about it. Gabriel, despite disliking the realm, I could see being somewhat grateful for it, with him otherwise being in a situation of almost a guaranteed death at the hands of Hux. At least in this situation he has the chance to potentially come back and escape one day. It's not much, but it's something, I think. Dwight is the character most visibly scared of the realm, shown to be fearful almost all of the time. However much he would dislike it, which he definitely would, I think not completely, or to the extent of hatred. He sort of found purpose in the realm, and it seems like the first time he's put in a spot of trust and authority, which he might like despite the situation. He's the unlikely leader. Renato is much like Dwight, I think, except less visually scared. He seems quite chilled out, in fact, although I do think he feels fear for the realm. In the realm, I think he likely feels more valued, and his quietness and ability to stay out of trouble is more of a reward here, and a benefit to those around him. But I don't think he's liking it, or feels positively toward it. Jill is a character eternally annoyed with the situation she's in during RE3. She just hates Nemesis and finds him very frustrating. I think she probably feels the same way about the realm, just, ugh, let's get this done. Determined but disliking the realm. I don't think she's entirely in hate, however, as she would feel more of a duty to protect others and keep hopes up as a STARS member. Adam was just getting settled in, and his face sort of tells us he's just a bit annoyed, I reckon. He's someone who's going to keep going and face down the realm, but he's definitely disliking it, and does not see any positive or hope. a logical mind frustrated by the situation. Ripley would have gone on to fight more aliens had she not been taken, and with this being the alternative, it's sort of just as bad. I don't think she likes her situation, but equally she wasn't in a good one either before, drifting through space blindly with her fate lying with more aliens. Accept the realm is a category for those who accept the realm for what it is. They aren't happy, but they also don't actively hate it. They are simply accepting that this is their situation. Vittorio is a bit disappointed by the realm almost, with it not turning out the way he expected. Despite this, I do think he's going to make the best of it, and is shown to with his exploration into the fog. He would have died had he not been taken, and for that I think he is grateful. A horrible place, but his desire to learn more makes him accepting. Ada is a character who perfectly encapsulates this tier for me, a character who sort of just goes with what's happening and works through it no matter how crazy. Quentin is a character who I think is quite scared of the realm, but ultimately is accepting of it, as he successfully stopped Freddy from terrorizing his town and Nancy. He managed to draw the entity to him by will and pull them both into the realm. He hates it, but accepts it because of those he protects. Tap is a character who, despite dying on entrance to the realm, sees it as an opportunity to correct the wrongs he made during Saw. Now in the realm, he wants to help people and do his best to save who he can. For this reason of redemption, I think he sees it differently to others. He's accepting of it and glad he has the chance to do things differently. Jeff is the type of character that I think sort of just rolls with the punches. He likely doesn't like the realm, but he is accepting that he's here, and with that he's going to do his best to be positive and keep going. One day likely with the hopes that he can return home to his dog. Jane is a tough one, and she sort of seems to be smirking almost in her lobby screen, and her perks do let off a confidence within the realm. However, I do equally think she's sort of putting on a tough face in the face of danger. This leaves her somewhat in the middle for me. She probably doesn't like it, but isn't going to let it get her down either, accepting the situation for what it is. The realm also saved her from likely death, so I don't think she's got too much hate for it. Yui is going to be accepting, I think. She isn't happy nor sad, but ready to do what she needs to in order to survive and help others, fulfilling that role once more. She puts on a tough face and is ready to face down the realm. Yunjin isn't happy about her situation, despite it saving her from death. She looks sort of annoyed the whole time. She's a character who looks out for number one, which is her. In the realm she is accepting of her circumstance, I think, but by no means happy or necessarily sad about it either. Jonah is a tough character to judge, but I do think he's more just accepting. He was in a weird situation where he got heavily targeted by the entity, with it creating an elaborate plan with the mysterious numbers it gave him. In the realm though, he sort of just looks pretty neutral, maybe it's just the shock. Despite this inexplicable occurrence too, he still resorts to numbers and logic, finding safety in it, I think. He's logical, and so will accept it for what it is. Positive about the realm is a category for characters who act positively about the realm. This doesn't necessarily mean they like the realm itself, but they do show a positive attitude at least toward it. David is altruistic and a good fighter, and I think he's sort of into that aspect of the realm. He's a character who thinks he could put up a fight against the killers, and goes out of his way to be altruistic. For those reasons, I think he has a positive outlook despite the situation. Alan Wake is a character with a positive outlook, and partly because I think he's quite fascinated by the realm and has general intrigue. The realm to him, after all, was something he wrote, and so when he enters it and it comes to life, it's probably quite surreal for him. With that said, he is a character that sounds extremely terrified with his voice lines. It sort of does go without saying, by the way, that every character probably hates the realm, in the sense of eternally being hunted over and over again, and placed into trials by an oversized spider. I'm not denying that. These placements are mainly just for fun. Nicolas Cage is a confusing case, but I think he has a positive outlook, and it might be in fairness because he isn't entirely sure if it's real or not, believing it's all some huge set or something like that possibly. He does make little quips in game 2 and seems to have a good time now and then. Then equally he's screaming and cursing at the killers too. He's a positive guy on the whole, and I think would make the best of it. Talita is a character who seems very confident in both the lobby but also her perks. She seems to think she can overcome it and survive the realm when she puts her mind to it. A bit like some others, I think, she's quite hopeful and would do her best to see the light. Rebecca is a character who, despite the situation, seems to always have a positive outlook, and in the realm she clearly still shows that. She's doing her thumbs up, All her perks indicate how her positivity affects others, and in general she seems to have a good outlook despite the bad situation. Yuichi is another character smiling in the realm. I think in this case he's happy to have found it, and feels somewhat vindicated after so many doubted him, and his theories surrounding Sadako and the supernatural. He also has a general interest in these things, and likely has somewhat of a fascination for the realm too. Michaela is a character constantly smiling when in the lobby, and I'm honestly not too sure why. It could be because in the realm she's sort of become what she wanted to. Her stories became real, her boon magic is tangible, and she got to give a great performance before coming here. I think she might just have a positive outlook, with definite reassurance from her boons. Jake is sort of smirking in his lobby pose, and does seem a bit riskier with his perk set and goals within the realm. I doubt he's loving his time or anything, but maybe does see it almost like a bit of an adventure, and enjoys the survival aspect. Either that, or he's putting up a bit of a front. Kate is a character who seems to react positively despite the situation. She might not like the realm really, but she does have a positive outlook about it I think, and would try to make the most of the situation, however terrible. Ash is a character who sort of sees beyond any dreadful thing happening and manages to keep up positivity. He's just entered into a mysterious and dark realm, and his reaction is to say groovy. He might be a little delusional this time round, but I do think he looks at the realm positively, another thing to overcome. Zarina is a character determined to stop injustice and expose the truth, and therefore I think would sort of view the realm in that way too. Despite her fears and being scared, she'd do her best to research, form a story, and try to escape and ultimately expose the entity, however unlikely that may be in working. Elodie was another character on the brink of death when she summoned the entity to take her into the realm. It was a place she wanted to find and hopefully save her parents from, or get revenge for. I'm not too sure what her plan was upon actually getting here. Regardless, I think she sees it positively, more than likely. Leon at this point in time is still his positive rookie cop self, and so I think he would see the realm in a positive light. A horrible place, but something that could be overcome and worked through with determination. Actually enjoys the realm is a category for the characters who, against all odds, just sort of seem to actually be enjoying themselves, despite the situation they're in. Characters who are actively pleased to be here and seem to enjoy it. Feng is a character who appears to view the realm like a challenge, and for that reason likely enjoys it, at least in the competitive sense. After her esports career spirals and she tries to find purpose, it's only with the realm and the challenge it poses that she seems to find it. Ace is a character constantly smirking both in and out of the trials. Bro escaped his debt, and I think that's all that's on his mind, to be honest. Enjoying himself, happy knowing he is free and away. Hey, you do you, Ace. Bill, despite his solemn expression, seems to actually quite enjoy the realm based on his lore. All he wants apparently is someone to fight, which is questionable as a life goal. But hey, if that's what he truly wants, then I reckon he's enjoying himself. Sable is a survivor who is directly stated to be excited to join the realm. Before she steps into the fog, by her own will, she states she isn't going to let her friend, Michaela, have all the fun in the realm. A pretty crazy statement from our perspective. Despite this, in the realm she still generally has a good attitude, and this initial idea of having fun sort of seems to hold up for her. She might be the survivor getting the most enjoyment for the realm. As always, I do hope you enjoyed, and let me know your own thoughts too down below.